Hi friends, welcome back to Natural Living with Zanana. In this video, I'm going to share with you 8 free and easy ways that you can reduce exposure to toxic chemicals today. Make sure that you watch all 8 tips. I think you're going to be really surprised at some of them, and especially watch all the way to the end because I am saving the best for last. Next to diet and exercise, reducing toxic exposure in your life is one of the most important things that you can do for your health. There are 84,000 chemicals registered in the US. That's a huge amount of chemicals, and the CDC does studies on humans, and what they have found is that 300 chemicals show up in our bodies when they do this testing. And of the people that they did test, 98% of those people have some of these chemicals in our bodies. We may not have all 300 of those chemicals in our bodies, but we will have several of these chemicals in our bodies. 98%, that's pretty much everyone. So it really is important to pay attention to this because these chemicals that they are finding in our bodies are causing things like cancer, obesity, thyroid problems, endocrine disruption, infertility, headaches, asthma, allergies, birth defects, and on and on. The list goes on and on. So we really do want to be steering clear of these toxic chemicals. And there's so many simple ways that we can do that. We don't even have to spend a lot of money. So if this is really important to you and something that you're interested in, hit the like button and share this video. Also subscribe and make sure to hit the little bell so that you get notified of the next episode, because in each episode I'm going to be diving deeper and deeper into some of these chemicals that we're exposed to, how we're exposed to them, what products they are in, so that you can make sure to get them out of your life. It's really important for yourself, for the planet, and for your children. One thing that I do want to remind you, though, is that there's no way that we can reduce and get rid of all chemicals. So that is not our goal, and I don't want you to feel any pressure that that's what you need to be doing. So just take a few of these steps and call it good, because perfection is not the goal. The chemicals are all around us in our homes, and there's no way we can be 100% rid of them. But we can do the best we can. And what you can do is going to improve your health. I guarantee it. The first thing that you can do to reduce toxic exposure in your home is get rid of synthetic fragrance. Synthetic fragrance is in so many products, and sometimes you'll even be surprised at what it's in. The most obvious things are colognes, perfumes, scented candles, air fresheners, dryer sheets, and fabric softeners. So those things should be pretty easy to get rid of, to take out of our homes. We really don't need them. They don't serve any purpose and can cause so much damage to our health that it's really worth just throwing them out and not using them. The reason you want to get rid of them is because fragrances often contain phthalates, and phthalates are endocrine disruptors. They can affect our hormone balance and cause things like infertility in both men and women, and hormone imbalance in everyone, really. It's a super easy thing that you can remove from your home right away. It's completely free to get it out, and you can just leave it at that. There's nothing else you need to do because these items aren't necessary. They're not mandatory. But if you do want to replace some of your candles, you can choose alternatives like beeswax candles, soy candles. Just make sure that they are free of synthetic fragrance and contain only essential oils. So read your labels carefully. Make sure that it's 100% pure essential oils. If you want to replace air fresheners and have a pleasant scent in your home, diffusers and essential oils are very popular and a great substitution for those air fresheners. If you want to replace those dryer sheets, you can get some of the wool balls and you can put essential oils on them. I like to use lavender. That's my favorite essential oil. It's perfect You put a few drops on the wool ball and throw it into the dryer. That's an easy solution. But again, you don't have to replace those items that you're taking away. It's perfectly fine to just get rid of them, and it's free and easy. These are some of the examples I found in my home. All of them have synthetic fragrance and likely contain phthalates. So I'm throwing them out, folks. I'm throwing them all out. The second thing that you can do to reduce exposure to toxic chemicals is adopt a shoeless household. And it's a simple and easy thing that you can do. Again, you just ask everyone to remove their shoes at the door. And it's really, really important, especially if you have children, babies that are crawling around, toddlers, or children that are playing on the floor, because the things that we're bringing in on our shoes are toxic chemicals that are harmful to us and our bodies. And that can be weed killers, fertilizers, glyphosate. It can be things like viruses and bacteria, and even asphalt chemicals, gasoline, oil that can be on the concrete, antifreeze, things like that. So if we can just take our shoes off at the door, then we reduce the amount of those things that we're bringing into our home. And it's super easy, super simple. If you want to, you can offer socks or slippers. You can buy washable ones so that you can wash them in between guests. And you can just have specific indoor shoes for all of your family members. Kids can wear socks or slippers, or you can just reserve a pair of shoes, flip-flops, or any other type of shoe for your indoor shoes. Why is this important? Because the studies that they've done about asphalt chemicals show very clearly that they increase the risk of cancer. And all the weed killers and fertilizers can also increase your risk of cancer and also cause endocrine disruption. And as always, I will put links in the description. I like to provide you with the science-backed information so that you can take a peek at it yourself if you are curious and want to dig in a little bit deeper. So always look in the description for those types of things, and never hesitate to ask me any questions in the comment section if anything comes up for you while you're watching this video. Number 3 is stop using plastic water bottles. Fortunately, we have so many good alternatives right now, but there are still plenty of plastic water bottles out there on the market. Some of them claim to be free of hormone disruptors and toxic chemicals, but really there's not enough studies to show that that is actually true. And most of the plastic is probably just a regrettable substitute to BPA, BPF, and BPS. And personally, I just don't want to take the risk because, again, most of the chemicals and plastics that are used in the United States today have not been tested for safety. So in my opinion, it's just best to stay away from plastic water bottles. And you may also have a really old one that you've been using, and if you are, it likely contains BPA. BPA and any of the other polycarbonate chemicals that these plastics are made of definitely leach into your water and any other beverage that you're putting in your water bottle. BPA is an endocrine disrupting chemical. It can block or mimic natural estrogen in your body. Exposure to BPA is linked to heart disease, insulin resistance, diabetes, breast cancer, infertility, obesity, and weight gain. The good news is that BPA doesn't actually build up in our body. It passes through pretty quickly. So if you are able to get rid of the BPA that is in your home, then within 2 to 3 days, it will be out of your body. And it's chronic exposure to these types of chemicals that actually leads to those diseases. So you're reducing your risk tremendously by simply switching away from plastic water bottles and choosing something else. There are so many great alternatives, stainless steel, glass. So this is a great alternative to a water bottle. This is free and easy. You can just use a canning jar. Probably you've got canning jars in your home, and if not, a lot of things that we buy at the store actually come in a canning jar or some sort of jar, and if you find one that you really like, just save it, keep it, and you can use it for a water bottle. Drink 2 of these a day, and then you'll be covered on your fluid intake. There are also lots of alternatives to plastic water bottles, and you can find those almost anywhere. Just choose a stainless steel water bottle or a glass water bottle. And an extra tip, make sure to stay away from single-use water bottles. Those do contain phthalates, which again are endocrine disrupting. Number 4 is get rid of plastic in the kitchen. Stop buying plastic baggies, plastic wrap, and don't use plastic leftover containers, and especially don't heat in those plastic leftover containers, because heat increases the risk that the chemicals from those plastics will be released into your food. Also, heating directly in the takeaway containers that you get at Whole Foods or New Seasons or wherever you're shopping, even at a restaurant, is harmful to your health and will release some of the chemicals that is in the waxy film or lining of those takeaway containers. You can just go ahead and use your own dishes to reheat your leftovers. Just transfer it from those containers and put it right on your glass or ceramic dish. Not all plastics have BPA in them, but all plastics leach chemicals into your food. And like we said, when you heat them, that just expedites and increases the leaching of the chemicals that are in these plastics. And the chemicals that leach out of these plastics are definitely hormone disruptors. Storing leftover foods in plastic and heating in plastic increases the hormone disrupting chemicals in your urine within hours. So what can you do instead that's free and easy? You can reuse some of the glass jars that your groceries came in. If you got a jar of pasta sauce, for instance, then go ahead and use that jar to store your leftovers in. Or if you do want to purchase something, purchase a glass leftover set. Pyrex makes these sorts of things, and lots of other companies make great glass alternatives to the plastic leftover options out there. Number 5 is stay away from canned foods. Again, canned foods have some type of liner. It's plastic. It used to be BPA. A lot of cans are actually still using BPA in their liner. You will not find it on the labeling, so you will never know whether it's BPA or not. There are some natural foods companies that actually state on their label that the can is lined with a BPA-free liner. But again, we don't know what that replacement is, and we have no idea whether it's a regrettable substitution or not. So best just to reduce the purchase of canned foods, and that way you're reducing your risk of exposure to those chemicals that are in the lining of the can. These chemicals that are lining the cans can release endocrine disrupting chemicals that are just not safe for us to consume. So what can you do instead? Buy foods that are packaged in glass whenever it's possible. Number 6 is plant a garden. Planting a garden is not exactly free. You will have to buy some seeds and you will need some soil. Maybe you have a backyard and plenty of space where you can plant the garden. Even though it's not free, it will probably save you money in the long run because you won't have to buy organic produce. If you can't plant a garden, then switching to organic as much as possible is very important. If you didn't watch the episode about organic vegetables and the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen, definitely check that video out. I'll put a link up here to that video so that you can get there quickly and easily. And it's a really important one and talks about organic produce and why it's important to go with organic. The studies have shown that if you switch to organic, the chemicals that you ingested from the non-organic, all of the pesticides and things like that that you're ingesting from those non-organic conventional vegetables leave your system within 3 to 5 days. So it does our bodies so much good to switch to organic. It's very important and a really easy and simple way to reduce our exposure to toxic chemicals quickly and easily. A daily intake of these pesticides keeps those levels at a regular level in your body, and that's just not good, guys. And again, if you can switch to organic and focus on EWG's Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen, then hopefully you can stay within your budget and not be spending too much extra money. So switch over to those whenever possible. Number 7 is switch to simple, homemade, vinegar-based household cleaners. Cleaners are filled with toxic chemicals and fragrance, and it's really important to get those out of our lives as soon as possible. These are some of the conventional cleaning products that I found in my home, and I'm guessing that you may have some of these in your home too. So take a look at them, take a look at all of them. Even some of the natural ones can contain fragrance, and it's these chemicals and fragrances that are found in these products that are polluting our homes. They're releasing VOCs and other chemicals into our air, and we have to remember that breathing in these chemicals takes them directly into our bloodstream. So it's actually quite a bit more dangerous than when we are ingesting something like eating the conventional produce that brings the pesticides into our system. When we're bringing it in through our mouth, we're actually digesting it. Our liver has a chance to clear it out. But when we're breathing in these toxic chemicals, it's actually going straight into our bloodstream. And that's what makes these so much more powerful and so much more toxic and so much more important to get out of our lives. The EPA did a survey, and they found that 87% of our time is actually spent indoors, and 69% of that time is spent in our own homes. So this is why it's important to make sure that we're reducing these chemicals in our homes. VOCs affect the liver and the kidneys, and they actually interfere with our ability to detoxify any chemical that we are exposed to through our bodies. There's different types of exposures to VOC. There's acute exposure and there's chronic exposure. Acute exposure leads to things like dizziness, allergies, asthma, headaches, eye and nose and throat irritation. Chronic exposure leads to fertility problems, birth defects, higher risk of cancer in children, and kidney disease. So what can you do to replace these toxic household cleaners? You can replace household cleaners with things like vinegar, hydrogen peroxide, Castile soap. BioClean makes a great all-purpose cleaner that is similar to a Castile soap. There's lots of recipes out there on the internet teaching you how to make your own household cleaners. It's certainly safer, it's easy. You can add essential oils for scent if you like, and otherwise you can just use them by themselves and your house will be just as clean, if not cleaner, than with the other toxic conventional household cleaners. You can also replace some of the toxic conventional household cleaners with some of the more natural brands. I have BioClean here and the 4 Monks cleaning vinegar, and then this is a vinegar-based glass cleaner from BioClean. BioClean is a great clean household cleaning company, and you can find many more listed on the EWG site for household cleaners. I will put a link to that in the description as well so that you can get all of the information you need for switching to safer household cleaners. Made Safe is another great place to look for certified safe household cleaners. Okay, here comes the moment you have been waiting for. This is the 8th thing that you can do to decrease your exposure to toxic chemicals in your home. Are you ready? Did you guess what it is? It is opening the windows. So simple, so easy, 100% free. Open your windows. Our homes are filled with fragrances, cleaners, off-gassing from paints, building materials, kitchen cabinets, furniture. So it's really quite a polluted environment. And like I just said, we're spending 69% of our time in our homes. According to the EPA, indoor air can be 2 to 5 times and even as much as 100 times more toxic and more polluted than the outdoor air, even in cities like New York or Los Angeles. Shocking, right? The EPA has even ranked indoor pollution as one of its top 5 environmental dangers. Wow, guys, that's incredible. So open your doors, open your windows, let in the fresh air and reduce your toxic exposure. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the little bell so that you'll get notified when our next episode comes out next week. Next week, we're going to be talking about sunscreens, so it'll be a really great episode and just in time for summer and summer vacations. It was so great to have you guys here. I hope you really enjoyed this. If there's something you got out of it, a takeaway, something you're going to do right away in your home, please let us know in the comment section. We love having you here in this community, and I look forward to seeing you next week. All right, bye friends. See you soon. I wish you very, very good health.